Bambi isn't really a movie that I have a strong connection with. In fact, I only just watched it recently. Being someone that liked the animal-based Disney movies more than the traditional princess ones as a child, I wasn't surprised to find myself liking Bambi when I watched it not long ago. If I'd watched it as a child, there's no doubt it would have been one that I'd stick in the video recorder all the time. But alas, Bambi was one I never had on home media, and for all that time, I was just able to see snippets of it. Nevertheless, my first viewing of it left me with a good impression. It was a really nice coming of the age story that put a lot of focus onto Bambi himself, which really emphasised that this was his story and it allowed me to connect with his character. There were plenty of other characters that appeared throughout it as well, and I liked that they were more in a supporting role that served as guides for Bambi while not taking away the focus from his story. I think it was great pacing and great storytelling. Speaking of storytelling, the first 15 minutes of the movie really grabbed me. There was a lot of things that I really enjoyed and connected with, and that ultimately leads us into the topic of this video, analysing the opening of Bambi, because I just really like to talk about it, pointing out the details and giving my thoughts. All that sound good? Alright, let's go. We're welcomed into a peaceful forest, complete with a harmonious choir in the background. It's early morning and the animals inhabiting this acre of green awaken from their slumber, though some still wish to get the extra bit of rest that immediately strikes one upon waking up. In a typical naturalistic moment, the birds sing that familiar morning tune that is interlinked and synonymous with that orange glow of the rising sun. The rest cannot last much longer, however, as there's great news that has come forth. The new Prince of the Woods has been born, and without hesitation, the animals eagerly rush to go and see this leader of theirs. Upon going into the burrow, they gaze upon a small deer, still fast asleep next to his mother, crowding around, admiring and marvelling his introduction to the world, which is quite the occasion according to Friend Owl. Congrats are given to the mother as she gently wakes her son up. He is surprised and startled by all the attention that's being given to him, politeness and respect being shown. The young prince begins his first stages of development by standing up on his forked legs, where he shows his less than stellar posture, but this is understandable as it's a first time attempt, and his underdeveloped balance causes him to trip backwards, which gets a giggle out of the other animals. When standing up, he is rather wobbly according to the young grey rabbit, who we learn is named Thumper, who was shown that energetic bubbly attitude that perfectly captures an innocent youngster right from his introduction. He was also the one to break the news of the new young prince's arrival. His comments are lightly scolded by his own mother, teaching him to be more polite, but he nevertheless still displays the politeness he already has when he asks the deer mother what she will name her son, that being Bambi. Sometime later during a bright morning, Bambi is being guided through the woods by his mother, the woods he is destined to protect, and he is greeted by the other inhabitants once more, the animals he is destined to protect. We also see that he has learned the ability to walk, able to transcend through the environment on his own 4 feet, though not without a few missteps. Thumper shows up again with his family to see this, and is likely told off again by his mother for another unintentional misplaced comment about Bambi's wobbly stature. He and his sisters help him stand back up and giggle in amusement when Bambi takes that first risk of his when he slides down a small embankment to a lower section of ground. Still scampering through the forest, they encourage Bambi to take another risk by spurring him on to jump over a log, though he is unable to fully complete this task and comes up short, but is nevertheless commended for his efforts. Seeing a flock of birds in the trees leads to Bambi's next stage of development, speech. Thumper tells Bambi that those are birds, as he doesn't know what they are, to which Bambi attempts to say bird. With some encouragement, support and help from the bunnies, and even the birds themselves, Bambi manages to say his first word, and the bunnies immediately tell his mother of this momentous moment in his growth and development. Bambi flaunts his new skill by repeating the word and comes across a butterfly, which he mistakes as a bird. Thumper informs him of his new discovery, telling him that it's a butterfly, and Bambi flaunts this new word of his to a flower in a nearby patch, leading to another correction from Thumper that his next discovery is a flower, and flowers are pretty and smell lovely. Bambi comes across a skunk resting in the patch, and like before, he mistakes him for the word he just learned, a flower. Thumper finds this amusing and hilarious, still displaying his innocent child attitude as he giggles in delight. Though he attempts to correct Bambi once again, the skunk embraces the title he has been given as a flower, saying that he doesn't mind, and Bambi can choose to call him a flower if that's what he wants, showing that the skunk, now named Flower, is accepting of Bambi's innocent mistakes. Heading back out, Bambi and Thumper hear the sound of thunder and realise what's coming. Thumper bids Bambi a kind farewell to go and take shelter, and Bambi does the same, but only after being scared by the thunder. Having been greeted with respect, supported in his development, taking risks, learning the ability to express himself, and sharing fun times with others, Bambi's first stage of early development is now fully complete, and now he is to be guided through by his mother towards the status he is destined to achieve. This opening perfectly encapsulates that slice of life aesthetic inside the forest with the added twist of that familiar Disney wholesomeness. Bambi's development progresses so realistically and naturally, and I love all the admiration and support he's given as he goes along this brief journey. It's clear that Bambi is a special character when we see all of the woodland animals clamouring at his arrival and their instant show of respect towards him. They know that he's the one to look after them during a certain point in the future. Bambi has that cute and warming aura to him when we watch him try to stand up and walk for the first time, and I love the rabbits spurring him on to take those first big steps like sliding and jumping. Sure, they're not giant steps, but for someone who's going through this early stages of growth and development, it can definitely be intimidating. The bunnies are a great batch of characters. They're the cute innocent children that one can fall in love with and take a liking to, with Thumper being the forefront of the group. He's a fan favourite character and it's easy to see why. He has that pure soul that comes with being a young child, always helping Bambi during his growth, but also being a little cheeky when he points out his wobbly balance and giggling over his mistake of calling Flower, well, a flower. The other characters that get loose focus in this opening are great too, even if in this section they don't have much appearance time. Bambi's mother is the sweet caring figure who wants to raise Bambi right and take care of him. After this opening we see more of their bond develop as they spend more time together. Frendal is clearly set up to be the wise old character, which he shows more traits of later on in the flick, and Flower is that adorable type who gets bashful when he receives flattering comments, with him showing up at least a few more times before the movie ends. I don't think there's as many details to talk about in Bambi compared to something like The Fox and the Hound, but it's understandable considering this was still early on in Disney's feature-length movie catalogue, so they obviously got more experience as the years went on, but this doesn't take away from the fact that this is still a great opening to just a nice film, honestly. The forest environment looks beautiful and the wonderful orchestral music that chimes throughout sets the mood and tone perfectly. Disney always nails it with their soundtracks. Bambi's opening is a fine 15-minute piece of great storytelling, something that I love and have a great passion for. I may not have that special connection with Bambi, be it nostalgic for 101 Dalmatians or deep for The Fox and the Hound, but I can still enjoy the movie in the present time because these classic Disney movies can still give that warmth and joy to anyone, no matter what time period it is or how old they are. That's just how storytelling hits you, and the opening of Bambi definitely hits me. Anyway, that's all I've got for now. I'm Jay the Taz, and I'll see you next time.